like it's holding up, despite the storm. I don't think it's cold enough for fuel to freeze, but maybe someone should store it inside, just in case.
Are you sure you want to stay under the storm to see the bodies, Kate Walker? They'll still be here tomorrow, you know.
Maybe, Oscar, but I can't wait. I've just got to know now. No one here? It's not that late. I'd have thought Demoiselle Lenny would still be up.
I believe that old people retire early, don't they?
A photo of Leon on a ship. Must have been taken during his return from Baltayar. But I still can't figure out how he survived the winter while he was on the run over there. Lenny also had that newspaper clipping about Leon. Looks like the old girls built a veritable shrine to him. Another one of those cigars. Demoiselle Lenny had tea with someone. Maybe with that alpinist guy. There's something truly odd going on with Demoiselle Lenny. I really ought to have a little chat with her. But before, the bodies. They're all that count right now. Too small for a door. I was hoping to find Demoiselle Lenny here. I've been here before, Oscar. I think they must have put the bodies on the other side of the refuge.
I hope we haven't come all the way down this long lane for nothing.
Lenny's left her lookout post. Hardly surprising with this blizzard. What's this?
Oh, it's the frozen bodies from the Devil's Pass. The forensic team had to bring them up here because of the blizzard. But their generator shut off. I'm concerned it could damage the bodies.
Where's Demoiselle Lenny?
Oh, in her room, resting. She collapsed right after the forensic team left for Wagen.
Jeez, what happened?
I'm pretty sure it has to do with the bodies. I mean, she was staring down in that direction for, well, all the time. And then, when they brought them up from the Devil's Pass, it was like she had seen a ghost or something. It was almost as if...
As if she knew the departed.
What?
Is someone taking care of her?
Oh yes, don't worry. She's with that hermit who brings her wood and provisions sometimes.
Okay, in that case, you go back inside. I'll take care of the generator.
Are you sure?
Positive, just go. Go on! I need to check something in the tent anyway. The gas tank's empty. I better find some fuel so I can turn on the generator.
Didn't you come across a jerry can earlier? Better go check it out.
Yes! Thanks, Oscar! Got the tank all filled. Now I just need to start the generator.
Wrong one. Must have got it wrong. Impossible.
I was not conceived to perform this function.
There must be something missing here. I hope the key we found opens the storage box on the generator.
You'll just have to try it, Kate Walker.
Locked, of course. Ugh, dry biscuits. Wonder how long they've been there. Must be to crank up the generator. Must have forgotten something. This machine wasn't exactly built yesterday, Oscar. I only hope it'll start up.
I suggest you flip the switch to on to test it.
Must have forgotten something. Nothing. Speak to me, Oscar!
This button must have turned on the generator, Kate Walker. But you still need to use the starter.
Okay! Thanks, Oscar! Forensics Institute of Vagen. That's not Dana in this body bag. Leon. It's as if he died yesterday. Like in those stories where people are found perfectly preserved in ice for decades after being carried away by an avalanche. Hard to believe he's been dead for over 60 years. That's quite amazing. And grim at the same time. All the bodies are here. I hope Dana isn't among them.
You should be able to identify them from the forensic reports.
an unidentified blonde woman in her 40s. That can't be Dana. That's it, Oscar. Dana's body is not among those found with Leon's. What a relief.
Now that that's cleared up, Kate Walker, maybe we should take shelter within somewhat more solid premises.
Right. We should go and check on Demoiselle Lenny in the refuge. I have a lot of new questions for her. Lenny owes me an explanation or two. I don't think she'll have moved from her room on the first floor. Hello? Sir?
Are you sure you want to follow that individual, Kate Walker?
I don't think he looked threatening. Rather the opposite, Oscar. Sir? Are you there? What have we got here? This portrait, it looks like Leon. The style reminds me of that other portrait of him that he described in his letter from Baltayar. The one made by the...
Dana.
The Go Rune.
No, not Dana. She's old, like me.
I'm Kate. Kate Walker.
Kate Walker.
Yes. And you're the one that Leon saved during the Origin expedition a long time ago, aren't you?
Yes.
The Goran from Baltayar. Well, you've come a long way, Mr.
Ludwig. Ludwig Hardtack.
Well, Mr. Ludwig, if you don't mind my asking, what happened when you and Leon returned to Ostertal to join the resistance fighters? And how did you meet Dana?
Leon. My brother.
These drawings, they're moments from your life, aren't they? Looks like a river, and that little figure looks wounded. Is that you when you met Leon and the scientist from the Origin expedition?
Yes.
That person in the middle of the others was in the other paintings. That's Leon, isn't it?
Yes. Leon.
That group. Is it your tribe, Mr. Ludwig?
Yeah.
So you all live together in a cave in Baltayar? Right. So you and your tribe took Leon in after the death of Reinhard Berger in 1937. That's how he was able to survive the winter in the mountains. Then you went with Leon when he decided to return to Vagen to join the resistance fighters?
Mm-hmm.
These combat scenes, are they of the liberation of Vagen?
Before. During resistance.
Had Dana already joined the resistance operation by that time? I mean, by the time shown in the drawing.
No. Later.
The blonde girl with you and Leon can't be Lenny, right?
Yes. Lenny. My sister.
I knew Lenny was a resistance fighter, but she never told me she fought alongside Leon, let alone you. She even went as far as saying that she never saw Leon again after 1937, when they all met at the refuge with Dana. Why would she hide something so important?
Time to check on Lenny. Come, Kate Walker.
The sketchbook. I think it was Leon's. Goran went into Lenny's room.
Ah, Fräulein. I knew you would be back eventually. Judging by your face, you and Ludwig already met.
We have. And it raised a lot of questions about you. About what you said to me the first time we met, and about what you didn't say.
Of course. You can run from your past, but never truly escape it. But you already know that. Don't you, Fräulein?
I want to understand Mademoiselle Lenny. I'd like to understand why you didn't tell me about Leon's death, about fighting with him in the Resistance, and about the gore, and about Mr. Ludwig. It would have saved us both so much time and effort.
Because it would have only begged questions. Questions which lead to events that I've never spoken about to anyone. Not even to you, dear Ludwig.
Lenny.
Still, I suppose it doesn't matter now. Perhaps it's time I confess my crime.
What are you talking about?
It was the best years of my life. Joining the Resistance, unlike my coward of a father, and fighting alongside Leon after he miraculously got back from Baltayar with Ludwig. It gave me purpose. Leon was a terrific leader. I could feel he was finally taking me seriously, especially with Dana being missing. I knew he was still in love. After all, didn't he cross the globe to rescue her? But we all thought he arrived too late, that Dana had died with her parents during the pogroms. So I believed his mourning would eventually come to an end. And that's when Dana fell from the sky, literally.
Dana was sent by London, right? To oversee that operation led by your resistance network? The exfiltration of a civilian to Switzerland, if I recall correctly.
Indeed. But Leon never told us that Dana was involved. Maybe he was afraid to believe it himself. You should have seen them, Fräulein. It was as if they had never left each other.
Do you know if Dana ever mentioned a child?
Maybe they were planning to have one in Baltaya, who knows?
In Baltayar?
Yes, that's all they ever talked about. How they were going to live over there after the war, along with Ludwig and his tribe. But it was to be just another broken dream.
Right. I should call London now. My radio's downstairs. Herr Gustav housed me here when I worked at the refuge. I have so many fond memories with Leon here. When I left for London with Junta, I never thought I'd see the place again, let alone be here again with Leon. Leon's drawing book. I recognize the mountains of Wagen in these drawings. Leon must have drawn them during his expeditions in the region. These drawings date from the summer we met, when I worked here. These landscapes don't look like they're from the Wagen region. Leon must have done these drawings when he was in Baltayar with the Origin expedition. This is a drawing of the Goruns. Right. I should call London now. My radio's downstairs. The Goruns' lair. Judging by these installations, Leon's network seems particularly well organized. Pity the same can't be said for all the resistance networks the Foreign Office deals with. May I? True brothers and sisters in arms. You can sense that the three of them stand together as one. Lenny and the Gorun seem close. It's nice that she's found a friend. Not that Herr Gustav lacked affection for her, but she spent too much time alone in that refuge. The Gorun described Leon as his brother. They must have shared lots of adventures together since Leon saved him from the clutches of Herberger. Your drawings are beautiful.
For you, Daremos.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Ludwig. It's almost as if you were there with us that night.
Leon told me.
Did he speak about me?
All the time.
I should go now. Talk to you later, Mr. Ludwig.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it looks like Leon and me in this drawing. The Goron must have drawn it from Leon's accounts of us. If this propaganda against the resistance fighters is anything to go by, the Brown Shadow must be pretty desperate. Looks like the Goron must be a nightmare for the Brown Shadow. He must be the super resistant I heard so much about in London. Harold Exner. A scientist with vital information for the war effort, according to the Foreign Office. His cover has recently been blown, which has led to this operation. Better not say anything during the briefing, but apparently Exner has a reputation for being rather hot-headed. The refuge. The place where it all began between me and Leon. We'll need to cross Devil's Pass with the package in order to reach Switzerland. They say it's not the most daunting pass, but still, you need to be escorted by a professional alpinist. The refuge. It'll be the departure point for our expedition into Switzerland tomorrow. Switzerland. The package will be safe over there. An arms stash. Since the departure of Herr Gustav, resistance fighters have been using this place as an outpost. The Allies are unable to send enough supplies to the resistance fighters for them to completely let go of their good old-fashioned methods. Shouldn't think the Brown Shadow appreciate Leon and his group throwing their own grenades at them. Lenny!
What do you want?
I found out that the refuge was closed down by the Brown Shadow a few years ago. Turns out your network did the best of it. But what about Herr Gustav? Is he...
Dead? No, he's not dead. Although, for me, he might just as well be.
It's quite incredible when I think of you and Leon fighting alongside someone who comes from so far away.
Yeah. After Leon saved him during the expedition in Baltayar, Mr. Ludwig's tribe took him in during the winter months. They became inseparable, like brothers. So much so that Mr. Ludwig insisted on coming back here with Leon. Now he's our most ferocious fighter, the terror of the Brown Shadow.
It's amazing how you've grown. How have you been since last time?
Fine, I guess.
See you later, Lenny.
Have you called London yet? We'll talk later, Dana.
Is everything all right, Herr Exner? You seem a little upset. if it's about your exfiltration tomorrow, I can assure you there's nothing to be worried about. Leon is the best for...
I couldn't care less about tomorrow.
So what is it then?
It's my wife, Andrea. It's like I said to your goons there. I can't leave without her.
Your wife? I'm sorry, Herr Exnau, but we have no orders regarding...
I don't care about your orders. I'm not leaving without Andrea. Do you hear me? I won't. You think I'm a bastard, don't you? A selfish bastard ready to risk people's lives to recover the woman he loves. That's what you all think, isn't it?
No, I think you're afraid, that's all. Afraid for you and the woman you love. And fear doesn't usually bring out the best in people.
I take full responsibility for my actions, and I expect no pity in return. But would a little understanding be too much to ask? I mean, what would you do in my shoes? What would you do if they asked you to abandon that alpinist you seem to be so fond of for the common good, eh? Because that's what you're asking me to do with Andrea.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I suppose if I were in your shoes, I would pull out all the stops to protect those who are dear to me.
I see. Thank you, Fraulein.
Well, everyone seems all right, more or less. I should get back to the radio.
Empty. This part of the radio is used to receive messages. I'll have to find something that will enable me to improve the signal so I can communicate with London. This part of the radio is used to receive messages. I should end up finding something in the attic that will enable me to enhance the signal. I should end up finding something in the attic that will... This part of the radio is used to transmit messages. I should end up finding something in the attic that will enable me to enhance the signal. I should end up finding something in the attic that will enable me to enhance the signal. There's lots of material in the attic. I'm bound to find a way of enhancing the... Yunta's stash. I doubt I'll find anything of use there to amplify the radio signal. Herr Gustav's old radio. I remember we spent many an evening listening to serials when I worked here that summer. So Yunta never did come back to retrieve it? Not surprising, really, I suppose, given the fact that World War broke out. What a mess. Herr Gustav must have turned Yunta's dark room into a storeroom after she left. There's lots of material in the attic. I'm bound to find a way of enhancing the radio signal there. Once this antenna is connected, there must be a way to open it. There must be something else I can plug into it. The strange antenna I found seems to fit on my radio. It doesn't fit. Looks like there's something wrong with the antenna. Maybe Herr Gustav's homemade radio is still around here. The strange antenna I found seems to fit on my radio. It doesn't fit. Looks like there's something wrong with the antenna.
That should boost the signal. Perfect. Impossible. Better try another one.
Nothing. I should turn the radio on first. I mustn't forget to turn on the radio. The instructions to find out the reception frequency are in one of the documents that the Foreign Office provided. Then, I need to copy it to my radio receiver. The instructions to find out the reception frequency are in one of the documents that the Foreign Office provided. Then, I need to copy it to my radio receiver. When I put the right reception frequency, the receiver bulb enables it to receive a coded light message. This part of the radio is used to receive messages. The coded light message on the receiver seems to be in Morse. There must be a connection between the contact code and Morse in order to find out the reception frequency. I see. In the contact code, 2 corresponds to a dash and 1 to a dot. By translating the contact code into a word, I should be able to find the reception frequency that I need to enter on the receiver. I see. In the contact code, 2 corresponds to a dash and 1 to a dot. By translating the contact code into a word, I should be able to find the reception frequency that I need to enter on the receiver. I see. In the contact code, 2 corresponds to a dash and 1 to a dot. By translating the contact code into a word, This part of the radio is used to transmit messages. I see. In the contact code, 2 corresponds to a dash and 1 to a dot. by translating the contact code into a word, I should be able to find the reception frequency that I need to enter on the receiver.